I'm Marcus, 17, standing outside my high school, where I threw away my dad with one stupid sentence. You're not my real father. I thought mom's boyfriend was cooler, but now my world's crumbled. No car, no fancy school, just regret. Dad's the one who raised me, and I betrayed him. If you've ever messed up big, tell me how you fixed it. Smash like, subscribe to Revenge Lola, and share in the comments. How'd you make things right? It was a Sunday in spring 2025, and I sat in our living room, the TV humming some football game Dad loved. I'm Marcus, 17, a senior at Westfield Academy where kids drive Porsches and talk Ivy League. Dad's a construction manager, not rich, but he paid $32,000 a year for my school, got me a BMW for my 16th birthday, built a gaming PC that glowed like a spaceship. He'd raised me alone since I was 8 after Mom Veronica ditched us for some gym dude. I didn't care much, she was a stranger, but 3 weeks ago she came back all smiles with Dante, her boyfriend. Dante was slick, drove a Maserati, wore gold chains, said I had influencer vibes. I started crashing at Mom's on weekends, her apartment small but loud with music. Dante talked big, YouTube channels, brand deals, said he'd mentor me. I felt seen, not like Dad's endless lectures about grades. That Sunday I came home, my sneakers scuffing the hardwood. Dad was on the couch, beer in hand, eyes on the game. I stood there, heart pounding, and said it, "You're not my real father." Dante gets me better. Mom says I can live with them after I'm 18. I thought he'd yell, but he just looked at me, eyes flat. Okay, he said, voice like gravel. Then he hit me with it. If I'm not your real father, I got no obligations. I'm stopping your school payments tomorrow. The BMW's in my name, it's going back. Your college fund? That's for my son, not you. My mouth went dry. The room spun. My life's over? I thought, picturing Westfield's halls, my friends, my SATs next month. I'd seen Dad's bank statements, $32,000 a year wasn't pocket change. The BMW, my pride, was his. College fund, $127,000, was his sweat. I'd been dumb, thinking Dante's hype meant anything. I stammered, "Dad, wait," but he cut me off. "Marcus. Or sir, since I'm not your father." I ran to my room, the door slamming, my gaming setup mocking me. Outside, the city buzzed, cars, distant music, but I was stuck, my words a trap I'd built. I didn't know Dad had already called Westfield, listed the car on Carvana. I thought I was choosing freedom, but I'd thrown away the one guy who'd shown up every day. My phone lit up, Mom's texts, promising Dante would fix it. He can't, I thought, dread like mud in my chest. I stared at Jamal's old football, a gift from Dad, my hands shaking. I'd said something stupid, and now my school, my car, my future were slipping away, lost to a lie I didn't even believe in a city that didn't care. Monday morning I woke up, my room a mess of sneakers and empty soda cans. My phone buzzed, Westfield Academy's office, saying I had 5 days to find $32,000 or I'm out. 5 days. I sat on my bed, heart racing, picturing my friends at lunch, their laughs, the college recruiters circling. Then a text from Carvana. Dad sold my BMW for $28,000. My car, the one I'd waxed every weekend, gone. I ran downstairs, but Dad was at work. I texted him, "Dad, why?" "This is my life," he replied. "Ask your real father figure." I threw my phone, tears burning. I was Marcus, 17, and I'd ruined everything. Mom called, her voice sharp. "Your dad's insane. Dante's talking to a lawyer cousin." I wanted to believe her, but Dante hadn't offered a dime. I went to school, my Westfield blazer heavy, the halls loud with chatter. The principal pulled me aside, his face grim. "Sort this out, Marcus, or you're done." My friends noticed my red eyes, but I lied, said I was fine. Tuesday, I came home, found Dad in the kitchen, his work boots muddy. "Dad," the school called. "I got SATs soon." "I can't leave now." He leaned back, arms crossed. "You said I'm not your father. Real fathers pay tuition. I'm just some guy who fed you for 9 years. His words cut, each one a nail. I cried, ugly sobs, but he didn't budge. "One comment," I said. "You're ruining me over one comment?" He didn't answer, just walked away. Mom sent 47 texts calling Dad abusive, saying Dante's lawyer would sue. I wanted to scream, she wasn't helping. I scrolled Instagram, my old posts with the BMW caption "Living Big." Now I was nothing. Wednesday, Mom showed up at Dad's job yelling about lawsuits, but security kicked her out. I heard it from Dad's coworker who texted me, "Your mom's wild, kid." I sat in my room, the city's hum outside, horns, a neighbor's grill, mocking my panic. I thought of Dante's Maserati, his promises of fame, but he couldn't even pay rent. I believed him over Dad, who'd worked overtime for my school, my camps, my tutors. College fund, $127,000, was his years of late nights, and I'd called him nothing. I texted Mom, "Can Dante pay?" She didn't reply. My chest hurt, not from sickness, but from knowing I'd pushed Dad away. I looked at my Westfield backpack, my life unraveling, my future a blank page I'd torn myself, in a city that kept moving while I stood still. By Wednesday, I was a wreck, barely sleeping, my phone buzzing with Mom's threats. She said Dad was emotionally abusive, that Dante's cousin knew the law. I wanted to believe her, but Dad hadn't backed down. Thursday, Mom, her sister Gabriella, and Dante's mom, Rosa, showed up at our house. Rosa, this old lady with a cross necklace, lectured Dad about family, saying Dante would never abandon me. I stood in the hall, listening, hoping Dad would cave. But he snapped. "Dante's great at talking, not paying." Gabriella called Dad petty, said I was just a kid who made one mistake. I nodded, but Dad shot back. "He's 17, old enough for consequences." Mom cried, begging for my senior year at Westfield, but Dad said I destroyed it by choosing Dante. I felt small, my words a bomb I'd lit. Friday, I skipped school, faking sick, pacing my room. I opened Instagram, typed a post. "My dad's a narcissist, punishing me for wanting my mom." I tagged cousins, Dad's coworkers, hoping shame would make him stop. It went semi-viral, 1,200 likes, but the comments crushed me. Kid dissed his dad and thought the money would keep flowing. My uncle Carlos texted, "You're ungrateful, Marcus." I'm unfollowing. I deleted the post, my face hot. Mom tried filing for emergency custody, saying Dad was financially abusing me by not paying tuition. I waited, hoping a judge would save me, but Dad's lawyer friend Keith called. The judge laughed it out. Private school's not a right. I sat on my bed, the city outside alive, kids skateboarding, music thumping, but I was trapped. I thought of Westfield's library, my spot for SAT prep, now slipping away. Mom's apartment, a cramped one-bedroom, wasn't a home. Dante's promises were air. I'd posted that trash online, thinking I'd win, but I'd just shown everyone I was a brat. Dad came home, saw me staring at my phone. "Saw your post," he said, voice low. "You done?" I couldn't look at him, shame like wet cement. I remembered Dad driving me to summer camp, $2,000 a pop, his tired eyes after work. I called Dante my father figure, but Dante hadn't shown up for anything. Mom's text slowed, her fight fizzling. I looked at Dad's work jacket, hung by the door, and realized I'd pushed away the one person who'd carried me, my mistake, a weight I couldn't lift, in a city that saw my fall and kept on spinning. Saturday, I was numb, my Westfield deadline gone. I'd been kicked out, my friends texting, "You at Jefferson High now?" I ignored them, scrolling news on my phone when I saw it. Dante arrested for selling fake supplements, some client in the hospital. He faced 18 months, his Maserati leased, his apartment a dump. Mom's place, a one-bedroom, wasn't the penthouse she'd bragged about. I sat on my porch, the city's heat thick, kids playing ball across the street. I'd believed Dante's hype. His talk of YouTube millions, his gold watch flashing. He'd said Dad held me back, that I could be big with him. Mom backed it, whispering Dad was too strict, that she'd left because of him. I bought it, thinking Dad's rules, homework, curfew, were chains. Now I saw they were lies. I grabbed a notebook, wrote a letter to Dad, my hand shaking. "I messed up." Mom and Dante filled my head with crap, saying you weren't my real dad. "You're the only one who's been there." "I'm sorry." I slipped it under his door, scared he'd trash it. I thought of Dante's arrest, the cops finding $50,000 in fake powders. Mom's text stopped. She was dealing with Dante's bail. I realized she'd used me to hurt Dad, her promises as empty as Dante's bank account. Sunday I waited, but Dad didn't mention the letter. I cleaned my room, hoping he'd notice. The city moved, church bells and neighbors' barbecue, but I was stuck, my heart heavy. I remembered Dad's overtime for my BMW, $28,000 he didn't have to spend. Dante hadn't even paid for our pizza nights. I'd chosen a fraud over the guy who'd packed my lunches, driven me to practice, saved $127,000 for my college. I sat in my room, Jamal's football on my shelf, a gift from Dad when I was 10. I'd been blind, thinking Mom's world was better. Her apartment smelled of cheap candles, not home. I thought of Westfield's gates, now locked to me, my SAT dreams fading. I'd been dumb, chasing Dante's shine, not seeing Dad's quiet work. My letter was all I had, a plea to fix what I'd broken. I looked out my window, the city's lights flickering, and knew I'd lost more than a car or school. I'd nearly lost Dad, my mistake a shadow I'd carry, in a city that didn't stop for my regret. Monday, I started at Jefferson High, the halls loud, kids rougher than Westfield's polished crowd. I felt like a fish in mud, my Westfield blazer swapped for a hoodie. I thought it'd be hell, kids called it juvenile hall high, but a girl, Maya, in AP Calc changed that. She saw my Instagram post, called me entitled, but said I could start fresh. Community college, then transfer, she said, her parents scraping by for 3 kids. I listened, her words real, not like Dante's fluff. I came home, told Dad I didn't need Columbia, that Jefferson's engineering track could work. He nearly dropped his coffee. Community college, he said, eyes wide. I nodded, Maya's plan in my head. Dad said the $127,000 college fund was still mine, but I'd work summers for gas and insurance when he got me a used Honda. I agreed, relief like a cool breeze. Tuesday, I cooked dinner, burnt bacon, runny eggs, but Dad ate it, his not enough. I cleaned the kitchen, my hands sore, wanting him to see I'd changed. The city hummed, traffic, a distant party, but I felt lighter. I thought of Maya, her blunt advice, her study date offer for Friday. I was nervous, but she saw me, not Westfield's Marcus. Wednesday, we grabbed my Westfield stuff, my ex Brittany, saying I deserved it but felt bad. I shrugged, embarrassed, but kept moving. Dad drove, quiet, the radio playing old rock. I remembered his late nights, $2,000 summer camps, tutors for my CS. I called Dante my father, but Dante was in jail, his 18-month plea a joke. Mom was silent, living with her sister, her Tinder profile already up. I'd learned she'd spun lies, blaming Dad for her leaving when she'd just chased Dante's gym dreams. Thursday, I studied with Maya, her notes neat, her laugh easy. Jefferson wasn't Westfield, but it was real, like Dad. I told him about Maya, and he said, "Focus on graduating, Romeo." I grinned, the first time in weeks. Sunday, we watched football, me passing him a beer. The city's pulse, kids shouting, a grill sizzling, felt like home again. I'd lost Westfield, my car, my old dreams, but I'd gained something. Knowing Dad's work, his quiet love, was worth more than Dante's shine. I wasn't fixed, but I was trying, my lesson hard won, in a city that let me start over. I told my dad he wasn't real, and I lost it all, school, car, pride. But Maya and Dad showed me, when you break something, build it back. Share your mess-ups below, how'd you fix them? Smash like, subscribe to Revenge Lola, share if you're starting over. Marcus, 17, signing off, still learning, one day at a time.